to the Popcorn Junkies. Black Widow. The first MCU film released after this coronavirus.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so this is set after Captain America Civil War. It's not set after the blip. The blip is when Thanos clipped his fingers, which happens much later. So this is set after Captain America Civil War. It's an origin story for Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson.
And we finally got her own film.
And we finally got her own film,
Yeah, because she was the only one of the original Avengers that didn't have her
Very
own
true.
film.
And it's got an amazing cast. Not only is there Scarlett Johansson, obviously, there's Florence Pugh.
Who we
Who we're
love.
all huge fans of.
We all love her.
I love her so much.
There's David Harbour.
Who
We all love him from Stranger Things. And there's Rachel Weisz,
Who we love.
who we love from The Favourite. And there's Ray Winstone. And William Hurt. Ray Winstone, who Nanny Di thinks can only do a Cockney accent, and we'll get to that in a while. We'll get to that in a while. And as you rightly say, we were kind of we've been looking forward to a Black Widow film for a while.
Yeah, but also it was just like exciting to have a new Marvel film properly coming out, and I feel like I was excited about it. I mean, she's never been my favourite of the Marvel superheroes, but I think that's more that she's not really been given much.
She's never been fleshed out, has she?
Yeah, like they've kind of left her a bit.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't really ever been given
I think
much.
she herself in interviews talked about the fact that she felt that her character was a bit thin. And she felt she needed this sort of...
So, exactly.
Which she certainly did.
So I was looking forward to this because, you know, I was hoping to see more of her, and I was so excited because I love the cast, like Florence Pugh and David Harbour.
Yeah, I think I was...
So I was excited, but I was like... I wasn't getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I think I was excited, but my concern was that it was... I mean, I've said this before, and I'm going to get hate for it. I've never been an enormous fan of the Captain America films. I felt they almost took themselves a bit too seriously. And because I know Black Widow isn't so much a superhero, more a sort of souped-up assassin who's incredibly skilled but doesn't have any superpowers, I was worried this was going to be very sort of thrillery and very James Bondy, which I'll also get to a bit later. But I was excited, like you, I think I was excited just to see anything that came from the Marvel Universe. What about you, Mel?
Same with me. I was too.
Yeah, were you?
You're a big Scarlett Johansson.
I'm a huge Scarlett Johansson fan, so I did want something of her.
Yeah, you always feel that she's never given enough to sink her teeth into.
I do, yeah. And so it was nice in that. I was looking forward to it in that respect. Yeah, and the supporting cast, I must admit.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested in this because, of course, we're now sitting at the point where we've had WandaVision, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we're currently in the middle of Loki going out on Disney Plus. And I think all of those series present quite a dilemma for the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, insofar as all those series allow for real, whether you like them or not, allow for a lot of character development. And you know, I was intrigued to see how this would stand up as a sort of conventional, albeit 2.25 hours. It's quite long, and I wondered whether its length was a bit of a reflection of that need to kind of get layered character. But anyway, so when it started, we very much went back in time, didn't we? So we've got this artificial family setup. Which is the young Scarlett, the young Florence, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz living in a suburban America. I quite like
Ohio.
in Ohio, absolutely. What do we think of the? I like the beginning.
I liked the beginning as well. It was really believable. The whole like that they would be.
Do you know what I was getting for that? I was getting the Incredibles vibe.
Oh yeah, actually.
If you think about it, even like right down to David Harbour.
Yeah.
And Rachel Weisz. I thought they were sort of riffing on the Incredibles both
They were
there.
very like Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah. And then we had the young Scarlett and the young Florence, and
I thought the casting was actually really good for the young girls.
yeah, they really looked like them, didn't they?
They were quite good. They were good actresses as well. I mean, they weren't in it much.
No.
Florence Pugh
She looked
so like Florence.
So like
did.
she would be Florence.
Yeah, and so it quite quickly transpires that this is a fraud, this is a fake.
I mean, another thing to say about that first bit is it's so fast.
Yes.
It's so fast that whatever you think of that first bit, it lays down the scene, takes them out of there, and you go along with it.
Yeah, it was incredibly right. Yeah, I mean, this is pre-titles. You've established a family that you then begin to realise
we didn't know.
No, we didn't
We
know.
didn't know that they were fake.
But you realise something's afoot because they happen to escape sharpish.
It's also interesting after you realise that the family's kind of set up and is fake. You kind of thinking back, I've realised all of the bits where Scarlett's character was like really off and knew what was going on during
when Florence
Pugh's character is hurt and the mum comes to look after her, and Scarlett was like, because she knows they're not actually her parents.
I thought that was
It was clever film in that sense.
It was. And it conveyed a massive amount of emotion in that very short time.
Yes.
Just at the dinner table as well, when they were getting ready to leave.
Yeah, and I thought what was clever about that opening scene was that you realise that the youngest, Florence Pugh, is the one for whom this is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for everyone else, this is, and that crops up again, I thought, in a really nicely reprised dinner table family situation later. Suffice it to say, you know, we discover that they're essentially orphans. They've been nicked. You know, Scarlett Johansson's mum has been. This is a spoiler review, by the way. Scarlett Johansson's mum has been dealt with. Yeah. And that David Harbour and Rachel Weisz are actually working for Ray Winstone and were not really their parents. Yeah.
Which is pretty sad.
It was sad, wasn't it? Yeah. And obviously saddest for the young Florence Pugh. And then we have this situation where I thought it was a great film about family. I thought it was a great film about creating families. Yeah, and sisters. What did you think of that? Because there was that opening scene, which I was getting Killing Eve vibes from that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
where they
kind
met.
of got what you meant. Yeah, when they met, that's like when they met in Killing Eve.
It is, isn't
Especially
it?
the set and everything.
Yeah, it was like a French house or a French, and they basically beat each other to a pulp. I mean, they were going to kill each other.
Yeah, they were.
I don't have sisters, and I'm not a sister. Could you relate to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, me and Kiki get on.
No, you do actually. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, I liked that. I liked the kind of sibling rivalry, and what I really liked about Scarlett and Florence together was you felt they were enjoying bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
They worked really well together.
They did.
As well.
They did. And I thought Scarlett, you could almost feel that Scarlett was being quite generous too, because you could see her thinking, because it's a difficult one, this. I mean, it's a difficult ask. We know Black Widow dies.
Yeah.
So there isn't really any jeopardy in this film around whether Scarlett is going to, or Black Widow is going to survive or not. You kind of accept that she is.
Yeah.
And yet it pulls off that amazing thing where you care and you're worried. And I suppose we're all thinking, is Florence Pugh going to die? Is David Harbour going to die? And all this kind of stuff. David Harbour. Red Guardian.
I loved him.
He's kind of affectionately described as the Russians' answer to Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, and that wonderful scene where he's kind of trying to fit on his suit.
Yeah.
Also, the bit that made me laugh so much was the scene in the prison where he's arm wrestling everyone. And he pretends to, and then he just like...
And also where he's running out of the prison and his stomach's going like this.
Yes. He's so out of shape. I mean, he says in an interview as well, doesn't he? He says that what he liked about the part was that even for men, he feels that lots of men have the pressure, like women do, of looking great.
Yeah.
And he loved the fact that he was playing, he was playing a character. Yeah. There were some particular moments which were really brutal, and I was surprised by that. A lot of swear words in this, which I thought was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, they don't tend to swear.
No, they don't. And death and injury was really extreme. Like that arm wrestle fight in the prison, his hand.
Wrist. And then the girl, the other, because we find out that there are loads of widows and loads of girls that are being trained the same way. But it was the one that fell from up above and like her leg was twisted, and then she had to like kill herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was really quite dark.
Yeah. And what did you think of this? So the plot is that Ray Winstone has essentially got all these orphans and sort of essentially sex trafficked, or not sex trafficked, but people trafficked, human trafficked, all these girls around the world, trained them. Lots of them get sort of disposed of because they don't sort of hit.
Couldn't handle.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that sort of horrible expendability to so many of them.
Yeah.
And then you have this sort of elite of Black Widows. You were getting a bit of Handmaid's Tale in there. I thought it was a very feminist film, did you?
It was partly because the guy who plays her friend who keeps coming down with a helicopter, whatever is in
But thematically.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is. He plays the husband.
I quite liked him.
Yeah, I liked him. He was good.
He's good.
Scarlett's Black Widow's mate.
Yeah. But also, I thought there were resonances, not spoken, but in all the sort of scenes you said about the feminist sort of overtones, but also lost children, children who have been trafficked, children who have lost their parents. And without belabouring the point one bit, it just flashed to a lot of photos. You do get that. It's a film for now in that respect. I feel very much. I mean, I kept leaning over saying, I feel this is a really feminine. I mean, Scarlett Johansson has talked a lot in an interview about wanting to empower the character of Black Widow, because she refers to some of the earliest films in which she appears, and she said there were shots where it lingered over her bottom, and
it was she's so
sexualized.
The first time I think she was shown was in like the second Iron Man film,
right,
and she was literally her character was just sexualized.
I mean, we're talking, and those films were coming out sort of pre. I don't mean woke in a negative way, but pre-woke, kind of an awareness of kind of, equality and privilege and all that kind of stuff.
Also, I thought it was just as much Florence Pugh's film as it was
I agree.
Scarlett's, really.
Yeah.
It was almost like I got the feeling off of Scarlett the whole time. It was almost like she was kind of stepping down.
Yes.
Not in a nice way, not like she wasn't putting any effort into the role like she was, but there was this nice kind of feeling to it where she was almost stepping down for Florence Pugh.
I totally agree, sort of handing over the mantle to her.
But I thought Scarlett's performance was really sensitive and really. I really liked the performance she gave in this.
It was really layered.
Really made me like Black Widow.
Yeah, and it kind of made me hungry for more from her. Not knowing.
Now she's dead.
Exactly. I mean, but maybe I suppose they could find a few more to filter in there. There were just little moments which I really liked, like when they were I can't remember, they were flying some object. But they were sort of saying back to David Harbour, oh, that's because we've had our uteruses removed. It didn't shy away from. It talked about women's bits. It took ownership.
Honest.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you think this is a family entertainment film, that's quite brave.
I thought that during that speech, although in no way is it preachy at all. But it manages
and also not at all sentimental about the idea that women weren't going to have children.
That was taken away from
exactly.
That's really horrible that they...
It is really
I
horrible.
think
Sterilised.
That's what reminded me of The Handmaid's Tale as well. In that sense, it was all... Things were being done to them.
Yes.
And then it's a question of how you tell that story. And in that respect, it wasn't done.
No, absolutely.
It was done well.
So it's a double-hander. I thought Rachel Weisz, I liked the reuniting, if you like, of the, I'm calling it the Incredibles sort of family almost. And the more that we saw of David Harbour as this kind of slightly clumsy, idiotic, stupid, very simplistic, but I thought David Harbour played it brilliantly.
He really did. He couldn't have played it.
No.
He's a clown. I mean, he played
he played it so well. I mean, I'm desperate for a spin-off.
Oh, I really want one from him.
Really want a spin-off from him. And I think you're right. I think you can almost inevitably see a spin-off coming for Florence Pugh.
Yeah, definitely.
At certain points, I thought this film almost effortlessly occupies the space that the Bond movies have traditionally occupied for so many years, and yet does it with so much more panache and kind of invention. I almost felt this film kind of makes Bond a bit obsolete. I mean, I know it's a different thing, but it's a similar genre sort of film.
It kind of showed it,
In a way, I agree with that entirely, and I thought exactly the same thing. On reflection, I wondered whether, because of the length of the film, and as I look back on it, if they slightly gave us too many big set pieces in the Bond way, you know, like the avalanche, the this, that, the other, one after the other. I didn't feel that while I was watching it though, so I think that might make something to do with it just going on slightly too long.
It was one of the first Marvel films in a long time that when I was watching I didn't feel kind of too overwhelmed with the fight scenes.
Really?
And I actually really liked the fight. I thought the fight scenes
the
were really
choreography
well
was
done.
fantastic.
And
the actual fights
and
were
it
great.
didn't feel like I was watching the same fight scenes over and over again.
No.
That's
I thought they had a sort of invention to them. Oh, what about the villains? What about Ray Winstone and, of course, his daughter?
Oh, she was creepy.
The daughter was the one that was essentially chasing
He was
them.
really disgusting.
Yeah, did he work for you? Because I don't think he worked for Nan. Did he work for you?
Did he not? No. Why didn't he work for you?
Well, it seems unfair to say his accent was all over the place. I actually thought, and and I don't think you two will agree with me here, I thought all their accents were terrible.
Oh, really?
I thought all that their accents jarred on me in the same way as wigs always jar on you. So I was having to fight through that the whole time.
Right.
Now the other sort of, I gave it up with them because they were, but Ray Winstone's was worse, and I just don't think he ever does anything but Southeast
Southeast London.
Southeast London villain.
Right.
And no, he didn't scare me.
But the girls found him really unpalatable.
I found him unsavoury.
Unsavoury,
really
that's
unsavoury.
it.
So it was good that, in a way, because that was what he was supposed to be, and it's good that he hit that.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, usually when an actor is putting on a Russian accent in films, it really bothers me. Not because, not anything to do with the Russian accent, but I just feel like it's a hard one to do.
Yes.
And people tend to come in and outdo it. And I mean, I love Elizabeth Olsen, but her accent is so bad in her ones. I actually thought that Florence Pugh's and David Harbour's were really good. I wasn't so sure about Rachel
Weisz.
Weisz's ones. But I thought Florence did a really good
Yeah,
job.
I liked Florence. I thought she was quite
Her
natural.
accent, sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not that I thought it was terrible, and I thought it got better. Hers particularly got better as it went on.
I loved the design of the suit of Ray Winstone's daughter.
Oh yeah.
With the skull face. I thought that character was a really good villain. I thought it was a more successful villain. You know,
Yeah, in
didn't
fact,
say anything, was
That
silent.
it mirrored everything.
I love
you
that.
do.
The fact that it mirrored people. Yeah, it read you, and then it would kind of emulate your fight technique. I
Yeah.
thought that was a really intriguing and interesting thing.
Yeah, I really liked that character, but I wanted more
Yeah, I did too.
villainy from it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I feel like it's too quickly went from, because that could have been a really threatening like side to the story, but it just too quickly went from
Petered
being
out.
really like elite and just you know, insanely like skilled to just kind of
Yes.
falling out the sky.
Yeah,
and
I mean, like
taking
that
their
moment in the
side.
trailer where she fires the arrow under the... I thought all that was really good. I thought all the
Oh,
car
yeah.
stuff was really good. You were really excited with the motorbikes.
Her
You
face
were like that.
was so scary as
Yeah,
well.
her face was really scary.
And that was all really quite dark, the fact she was the daughter that
Yeah.
Scarlett thought she'd
Murder.
up.
Yeah. I liked all that.
I think to be honest, I think the director lost control of the film a bit towards the end.
Towards the end, I
and,
think so.
and in that respect, the stuff like Ray Winstone's daughter, we could have done with more with, and we didn't get.
I thought she could have had a more... I think you're right, Maddie. I think she could have had a more sophisticated narrative arc.
Yeah, there
rather
wasn't
than
much of an arc.
malevolent, chase, reveal. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, okay. If I had a major problem with this film, I had a real problem with the last 20 minutes of it. I thought it...
when it dragged a bit.
And also, I thought its tie together was a bit cliched.
Yeah.
Suddenly, loads of women all suddenly realising they've been sort of
it was-
ensnared, all unite. I mean, I'm up for the united women
Yeah.
message.
But it was
Yeah.
done in a bit
that's
of a naff.
It's a
We
bit
have to be really
cringe.
careful
It was a
with
bit cringe when they all went.
Yeah.
Did you not? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
no, I did.
and then in the
And then when
debris
one,
of everything,
yeah,
one
one
of them.
comes over and like is put her hand on the one in the suit.
Well, you know, when it's
I
from the
was
same
kind of-
studio that gives us things like Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd have thought there must have been a way of doing that in a bit more of a kind of.
Yeah. Also, I was
way.
kind of hoping that that Ray Winstone's character would die, which he did, but then the daughter would kind of be
Carry
this
on.
villain that would carry on.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
they resolved
would've
it
been-
all in
yeah,
one
no, that
film.
It was a very
Like,
neat
Like imagine
pull
if
together.
it ended with her having this
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
No, I
think that-
agree. I think they missed a trick there, and I think in a weird way it was too. They tried to too neatly tie it all up. I don't know whether that's because they're not envisaging any more Black Widow films or what.
I mean,
Yeah,
probably.
but that's also what I mean by saying the director lost control of it.
Yeah,
I think that given more, she would have done it slightly differently, I think, to that. But
Yes.
by that point of the film, we were having to know what was going to happen
Yes.
to all these girls, and so they did it in. They sort of worked against the rest of the film, what the rest of the film was saying. Really.
Yeah.
And what about the pigs as well? That she,
Oh my god,
yeah,
that scene
Rachel
was
gets
so
to
brilliant.
just stop breathing.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz can control. I liked all that. I thought there was something in that pig control moment. It's a very odd pig control moment, which happens around the dining table when they're all. I thought that was very well executed.
I liked the dinner table.
Yeah, I liked the dinner
And,
table
like,
and how they
when
all tripped
Florence
into family
walked-
roles.
Yeah, but then when Florence kind of walked talking, I really liked the scene between her and David Harbour
Yes.
when they started singing the song
Yes,
together.
yeah.
But then when he gets shot by the tranquilizer, he goes, they think they can, and
Yeah.
then he just got shot by multiple ones.
And the sound effect was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuff like that was really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's sum it up and let's score it. So, Mum, let's lead with you.
I enjoyed the family scene in Inverted
Yeah,
Commas
yeah.
family the most, actually. I thought their interaction between each other was really, really good. Their relationships.
Yeah,
were
the
really
ensemble
good.
scenes were really strong,
really
weren't they?
the strongest in a way. But having said that, I mean, I loved some of the classic big scenes, him leaving the prison, the avalanche things, the various things being
the prison
blown up.
break was good.
I liked I did like the fighting, and I heard an interview with the director, and I think she was they tried to pressurise her into giving more
Fight.
deaths and
Right.
fights and whatever, and she had to fight herself to keep it as it was.
Oh, right,
And
okay.
I thought that showed, and it showed in a good way. The fights were good, well choreographed, and I was totally with them all the way through. So that was good. I did think it out-bonded Bond.
I mean, I was getting all of those moments, you know, those hits that
Yeah.
you get from a Bond. I was thinking, fucking hell, this is doing this. This is
Yeah.
doing about
Yeah.
30 of those in one film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Florence Pugh, as we've all said as a family. thought she absolutely acted her socks off, except for the accent. But also, I love Scarlett Johansson, and it was lovely. I really wanted to see her give us more, and she did. You can that sort of where the camera goes off and she's still acting. I love that stuff.
What, out of 100?
78.
Okay, that's quite close. Rotten Tomatoes is at 80 at the moment for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was kind of going into this excited because I wanted to see a Black Widow film and kind of get more of a taste of her. And I actually ended up really enjoying it, and I thought that all of the performances, some of the accents, they kind of drifted at times, but I actually wasn't bothered by them as much as I was worried I was going to be. And I thought Florence's was really good, and it was really nice to see Florence Pugh in a film again because I just love her face and everything.
I know, she's so watchable.
Yeah. And I really loved the way that the whole family worked together, but I really loved how Florence and Scarlett worked together as well, and that scene where they were at the table kind of talking, just sisterly.
It was very real, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really real. And
what about Florence's piss take of Scarlett's landing?
Yeah, I thought that was really funny
that's
as well.
great.
Yeah, and I enjoyed all of the fight scenes as well because I enjoy them in the Marvel films and everything, but it gets to a point where they become samey and they're like too full on, and then I end up being like strange,
I agree.
But I ended up enjoying all of them, apart from the last one. I thought the last one went on too long, and like you said, it had to end with like a big explosion in the sky and them all falling.
I
And
know, she's like, fucking hell.
I really loved Scarlett's performance.
Yeah.
There was kind of a sadness in her performance. I don't know what it was. She
Yeah.
seemed kind of, but I really liked it. It was like a vulnerable side to her character and everything.
Well, like as one of us has said, handing over the mantle.
Like
I agree.
stepping down for Florence.
Yeah.
And I liked the whole feminist, the whole thing of these women, all very, very strong women, all of them.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see a film with so many strong women in, and I thought David Harbour was brilliant. I really wanted to see a film about one of him. And I actually found Ray Winstone quite a good. Well, he wasn't like a great.
I thought he
villain,
was.
but
I found him sleazy, which is not what you often get.
He made
from
me uncomfortable, and like the whole him of sitting too close to her and everything. Like he was just unsavoury.
And we had. Let's not forget again in essentially a franchise from Disney. He kind of threatened to hit her in a way that was very.
He punched her many times.
Yeah, well, no, many times, but that first moment when he went like that, I
he
thought,
was really aggressive.
It was really real.
He was really quite horrible. I thought it was just 20 minutes too long.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked the after the credits bit as well. That was a cool
Hawkeye.
sum up.
Point towards Florence and Hawkeye.
Yeah. I would recommend people to go and see it, and especially in the cinema. Because it's really good to just see a Marvel
Oh, it's so nice.
film against cinema. So I think I would give this and there are loads of really funny bits in it as well.
So much humour.
Which I was worried we weren't going to get because she's quite serious. I'm going to give it 85.
Okay.
That's good.
Fair enough.
I think I was really concerned that this was going to be a really Captain America-y film, and again I'll get shot down for saying that, but they just don't float my boat as much as all the other films do. They just don't. There's a sort of seriousness or a sort of worthiness to them that I find a bit. But I had the same fear with this film that I had with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I was really pleasantly surprised by The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I think I was really pleasantly surprised by this. I think this film is all about the ensemble cast and how they all interact with each other. They very cleverly kept that threaded through a lot. So there weren't too many times where I was thinking, I want to get back to the four of them. The dynamic. I mean, this is The Incredibles, not as an animation in some ways for me.
Now you said that.
And the family dynamic was good. I mean, dare I say, I could almost do with another film of the four of them, because I think they've inadvertently created an own little Avengers group, which is really rich. And maybe if it does well enough, they might. I thought Florence Pugh was absolutely brilliant. I thought Scarlett was such a generous performance from Scarlett.
That was the word, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but and especially if you think that, she does know that her character dies. This is a new actress on the block. And there was just a real strength in that.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with this film was it didn't need to nail it on the nose, the feminist argument, because we were all picking up the strength of women in it.
Yeah.
We were all picking up the sort of subjugation of all the Black Widows within it. And I thought it just tripped right at the end in those last 20 minutes. It fell over itself with classic stuff falling.
Women going.
Yeah, women going, oh, the mist, and literally it's a red mist. Oh, I'm out of my hypnosis. And, and I just thought it was a bit hackneyed. And the rest of the film was more sophisticated. So I really enjoyed it, and it was lovely to see something where at the cinema you're doing that rather than looking at one screen.
Yeah,
I'd give it, I'm probably going to sit between the two of you, so I'd probably give it 82
Right.
out of 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit emotional though. I hope that's not the last of Scarlett, because I think it's the moment she kind of came into her own.
She just
with
got
it.
into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be enough of that feeling to inspire.
I hope so. There you go, guys. Check it out.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.